Hi again then guys, and welcome to another tune setup for Gran Turismo Sport, in particular another LMP tune, and this one is fractionally slower than my Mazda LM55, which I put out a couple of days ago now. That one's still the pinnacle, at least as far as the time of releasing this video, and I'm talking just regular LMPs, I'm not including the Alpine or anything like that. So that remains to be seen for me personally. This one though, as I said, is my second quickest, the Audi R18. Now you can use this tune, as far as I'm aware, on both of the versions of the R18 that are in the game. And I don't mean the newer one, not the update car, but the two versions that look exactly the same. There's this one and there's another one which has a slightly different name, but they're basically the same car as far as I can recall. Now this one, as you can see, is fully tuned, but this tune is balance of performance friendly. All you need to do is leave that stock, and then you can just do most of the other settings anyway. It's more of a rough guide. So we're running the lowest weight, the highest power for this particular example. Traction control I've got off, but of course that will depend on you personally. Racing hards to show what it's capable of in an actual racing environment. As far as the suspension, we've got a ride height of 80mm, frequency on 4, anti-roll on 5, compression on the dampers on 56 with 84 on the rebound. Perhaps surprisingly, neutral camber and neutral toe as well. Downforce, in particular for Le Mans, we've got as low as possible for obvious reasons. Top end speed, top end acceleration. But of course, if you take it on a different circuit, especially a more technical tight one, then of course you'll want to at least give that a look and potentially increase the downforce as well. As far as the diff, I've got the lowest initial torque, the highest acceleration and braking. Again, people have very strong personal preferences when it comes to stuff like the diff, so I would encourage you to try different things, mess around, experiment with it, because if you find out that this was the best for you, you could just come back and do it again. And as far as the gearbox finally, of course, you will want to vary it a little bit depending on how much power you do go for, be it fully tuned, detuned, balance of performance, whatever the case may be basically. I've got an auto setting of 249, then individual gears of 2.5, 1875, 1465, 1185, 1 and 825 with a final drive of 2.175. So there's a lot of fives in there, and as I said, you will want to change it around depending on if you need more slipstream potential, or if you have less power, then you could tighten those gears up just a little bit. In other words, increase the final drive, and potentially some of the gears themselves, depending on how much power you're running in the car. So that's it for the tune. There is room, as always, for personal variation in there to suit your particular needs. So now, of course, let's actually watch its blistering lap to see what it can do. Now, as far as all-round Le Mans prototypes go, especially if you're talking just real ones that actually race, so not including the Mazda LM55, this is pretty much the best one that you can get all-round, because the Peugeot 908 is fantastic, but this one is even quicker through corners. Now, although the top-end speed, as I said, is not quite as high, my Mazda does over 270, the Peugeot does fractionally over 270, this one does 268, at least with this tune, so it's a little bit slower, and yet it still ends up being a couple of seconds faster than the Peugeot over a lap. So it really goes to show the kind of cornering ability that this car has mixed in with the speed, and that's what makes it, or that's one of the reasons why it's such a formidable opponent. As far as driving style, it's not like the Nismo where you need a specific kind of way of driving it. It just does the job, and it's a very easy car to use as well. So, if you do decide to use this tune, I hope you have a ton of fun with it. Of course, win plenty of events with it, both at Le Mans and elsewhere. And if you want to check out more, you can click on screen now and do so. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.